Welcome to the Spirit of Wellness 2020 Yoga Workshop. I would like to thank our sponsors, NAMI Larimer County, The Human Being, and a private donor that is matching our fundraising up to $5,000.
As you hopefully have noticed in the chat, we mentioned that this session will be recorded for future viewing. So just a reminder that we are recording this session. Now, I'm very happy to introduce Minde Metz, who is a yoga instructor at Raintree Athletic Club. Thank you, Minde, for volunteering your time today for Spirit of Wellness 2020.
Hi, friends. So glad you could join us today. It's an absolute honor to be here. I'm thrilled to be working with you both in person on Zoom and then through recorded later. Today we're going to do a yoga detox flow, which is really about some grounding, some really strong breath work, and really just giving you some ways to ground in some kind of tumultuous times right now. But regardless of sort of what's going on in the world and around us and all of that, this flow would be useful for you at any point. So I think today, if we can go ahead and get started, yeah? We can? Okay, great. Let's go ahead and take seated position. Come to a comfortable seated position, either on a mat or if you have a rug or a towel, whatever it is, just something that's a little bit softer than maybe the hard floor. And we'll come to whatever works for you. You can cross your legs, just comfortable seated. Before we get started, I would like to read the room. I would like to know, let's see, a lot of you don't have your video on. I think I'd just like to know if there are any first-time yogis in the room. Can I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Okay, some of you I can't see. Okay, so throughout the course of this series, I'll give you the base level poses, and then I will also give amendments for modifications for those of you who might want to take it deeper. We will start with the base level beginner series, and again, take it deeper as you choose to, if you choose to. So let's go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position. Let's take a minute to really ground ourselves and find your sits bones. These are the bones underneath your thighs, underneath your gluteus maximus, and find a minute to find those bones and really draw down into them, into the ground. Feel that connection to the earth, feel comfortable seated, and then lifting the spine up from there, coming into a comfortable but easy, strong seated pose. And from here we'll begin our breath work, okay? So from here we'll bring our hands to our hearts. In yoga we use the term namaste. It's Sanskrit, which is a Hindu Indian language for the divine in me or the beauty in me. It recognizes the divine or the beauty in you. So I like to begin each practice with that. And while I can't see many of you, I can still recognize the beauty. So we begin together. Let's close our eyes for a moment, and we're going to take 3 deep inhaling breaths, and then the exhale will be a big ha. Okay, so we'll inhale together and exhale. And again, big inhale. And let it out. Last one, biggest one of the day. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment to open your eyes. Find the palms on the knees. We're going to start with, a spinal flex. We're going to warm up the core in this first few poses. So I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. So our hands are on our knees, elbows are slightly out. We're going to inhale, open the heart and the chest, fill the belly with air. And then as you exhale, draw the belly back, exhaling fully, emptying the body of air. And we're going to do this at a fairly rapid pace for a count of 20, okay? So begin now, inhaling. 5, 10, 15, last big one. Let it all out. Excellent. And as you're comfortable, come to your knees If you have knee issues, or if you've had knee surgery, or you have knee injuries, you're welcome to take this seated. You can also repeat what we just did. And again, if at any point in this process you have questions or it's not clear what I'm doing, feel free to raise your hand. We'd be happy to help, okay? So if you're able to, come to a tabletop position. That is hands underneath elbows, underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Feet are relaxed, okay? We're here, and we're gonna do a cat-cow. So that shape that we just did, that in, out, is very similar here. We're going to simply inhale and come down into cow, round out that belly, and then as you exhale, push into the ground through the shoulders, and exhale fully. Keep moving through this flow at your own pace, about 5 to 7 times on your own terms. Really using that breath to move through your body. Inhaling fully as you can, and using that exhale to cleanse the body, ridding yourself of anything that's not serving you today. Rounding up through the shoulders, extending through the neck and spine. And then from here, we'll come back to that flat back position. We're going to do a barrel roll. So really all you're doing is rolling your belly. It's really, I like to call it the wiggle. I teach children's yoga too, and a lot of them really love this one. It's a very playful pose, and it's a lot of fun to just roll your body. And if you'd like to see it from the front, it looks like this. Just rolling that core around and around. And then as you're ready, you'll reverse the direction, taking notice that it may be easier on one side than the other. One side may be a little more open, one side may have more tension in it. Do what works for you. Just find that space in your body. I'm going to start my timer. Here we go. Right. And then from here, we're just going to push up through the shoulders and push all the way back into a child's pose. Child's pose, the arms are outstretched. The nose is between the knees. Seat finds the heels. Really take that moment, delicious stretch. Reach for the edge of your mat. Really open up those side bodies, the obliques, the spinal column. First lovely morning stretch of the day. And then as you're ready, we'll come back to tabletop. From here, we're going to go into downward facing dog. So the hands come up just in front of your shoulders, and then you can tuck the toes one at a time and slowly step up. If this is not available to you, bend your knees. You can also, if your wrists are challenged by that, you can also do what we call elbow dog and come down onto your forearms. From here, I'm going to take downward dog. And just take a minute here. This is one of yoga's core poses. It takes you through the entire body in one pose. And just take a minute here to walk your heels out a little bit. Just back and forth, slowly and surely. Try to relax the shoulders. Try to relax the back of the neck, the throat, the jaw. And really just find comfort here. If at any point it becomes too intense, feel free to come down into child's pose or a pose of your choosing. Just a few more walks here. And then from here, from downward dog, you can either walk or hop forward. I'll walk for the purpose of this class. Forward, and we're going to stand standing forward fold. And slowly rise up, taking the arms above overhead. A big, delicious inhale, and exhale, release. Come forward again. We'll step back into downward dog again. Again, find a moment here to really strengthen and lengthen. Then with the right foot, come forward into a lunge. Again, if this is not accessible to you, there are modifications. You can drop the knee. You can actually just come all the way into it if you'd like, both hands on the inside. If you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, pop the full lunge, bring both hands on the inside of the right foot, and drop the hips. Nice big hip opener. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling to cleanse, exhaling all that isn't serving you. We'll find our lunge again, planting the hands, stepping back into downward facing dog. Open through the shoulders. And again, Second side, this time we'll come forward with our left leg. And if that's, again, your modifications are here, or the advanced modifications, both hands on the inside of the left foot. Find the pose that works for you. Breathe into it. Long and strong. And then find your way out of the pose back into downward facing dog. And again, you can walk or step forward. Take a minute to hang your head. Just release the spine. And slowly, carefully roll up. Arms come up overhead. The gaze is lifted. Slight extension. And inhale the hands back to the heart. Okay, from here we're going to take the Warrior series. This is one of my favorite series because it really does provide a message to your body that I am strong. It sends the message to your body that you're strong and grounded and fearless. And I love this pose series. So we'll start with our feet slightly apart. Okay, we'll take this right leg and rotate the foot out this way. Okay. And then as you're ready, keeping this left leg straightened, bend the right knee and bring the arms out into a T-pose. Drop the scapula back, shoulder blades back down the body, chest and heart are lifted and proud. And take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling a little deeper if you can. One more big deep breath. And then from here, we're going to take this right arm and put either the elbow or the hand, whatever's accessible to you, on the knee. And we'll take the left arm over the shoulder. Ah, good. Looking good, guys. Good. Big deep breaths. Opening up the side body, feeling the strength in your legs. Feel the grounding in your feet. Warrior 2. The third series in this pose, we'll straighten the front leg. The left arm comes back down. The right arm comes up. If this is not accessible to you, you can bend that front leg. Makes it a little bit easier to get into it. Again, opening up the side body. And then we'll rotate through one more time into Warrior 2. And windmill the arms back up. The foot comes in. If you need to take a minute to get the wiggles out, shake it off, you'll feel free to. If you want to flow straight in, we'll pivot that left leg forward. And again, bending the left knee, keeping the right leg straight. Big deep breaths. As you can, exhale a little deeper. If you find tension in your shoulders, you can actually rotate the palms up, or you can bring the arms in. Get out of those traps and the tension that some of us carry in our necks, particularly on computers all the time. And here again, the elbow or the forearm, the hand come down to the knee. The right arm comes up and over. Long and strong. Big deep breaths here. Big deep breaths. Again, you can either straighten this front leg, or if it's not available to you, you can leave it bent. The right arm comes down. Left arm comes up over the ear. The gaze is up. Big breaths. And again, we'll windmill through one more time into Warrior 2. Long and strong. And coming forward, both feet are turned parallel now. So if you have equilibrium issues, or if inversions make you dizzy, be careful with this one. You can also just take a moment, take a squat, take a pose, whatever. Just take a moment to find what works for you. We're going to do a standing inversion. So the hands are clasped behind your neck and behind your back. Shoulder blades come down and back. Then as you exhale, folding gently forward, carefully and with intention. If this is safer for you, please take that. If you're comfortable here, here, and then lift the arms, opening up the side bodies. Big, deep breaths into the side bodies, the back, fill the belly full of air. Slowly, gently, with intention, coming back up. Good, good. From here, you may also do this against a wall if it's more comfortable for you, or more stable. We're just going to take a simple squat. So hi friends, welcome. So our feet are at about a 45-degree angle. Do what works for you. Do what works in your body and your hips and with your balance. We'll simply take our hands in front of us in a prayer pose. And as we exhale, the knees go out over the toes and we come into a squat. Now, if this isn't available to you, again, you can use a wall and lean back into it. This one's really just about opening up these inner thighs and lengthening through the core. And if you're comfortable here, you can push the hands together and the elbows to push those knees apart and really sink into it. This is one of yoga's most grounding positions. It's a very natural position for our ancestors. And this is a very calming, grounding, sort of earth-drawing pose. We'll take a few big, deep breaths here. In fact, I think I'd like to take 3 big hot breaths here. So inhale through our nose fully, and exhale. And again, inhaling fully, and exhale. One last big, full breath. Excellent. As you're comfortable, find the floor with your hands. You'll come to a seated position. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. So we'll come with our legs straight out in front of us. Okay. You can put you can keep your feet together, or if it's more accessible, you can also split your feet about hips width distance. That's usually really comfortable for most people. And then flex through the foot. Really engage the back line of the body. Really understand the connection of the earth, your legs to the mat, to the earth. Take a minute to ground here, again, finding those sits bones we talked about earlier in class. Then we're going to inhale. We'll do 5 rounds of this. We'll inhale the arms up. As you exhale, forward fold, reach towards the feet. Wherever you are is fine. If this is where you are, that's great. Wherever you need to be today. Find that. Take a big breath into the back. Exhale fully. Inhaling, coming back up. Inhale, exhale, folding forward. And again, a big full breath here, cleansing the body, grounding the body. Inhaling, coming back up. Exhale. On your exhale, folding forward for the 3rd of 5. Play with the positions of your hands. Is it good here? Are you good on the mat? Do you want to reach for your feet? What feels good in your body today? Coming as far forward as you can. Inhaling again up. Exhale, forward fold. And last one, big inhalation. Take a big, huge breath as you exhale today. Bring out the body, empty it of air. Into your deepest forward fold yet. Big breath into the back of the body. Opening up those shoulder blades. One last, we'll inhale and exhale, hands to the heart. Okay. From here, we're going to take a spinal twist. I'll start, this is probably the easiest way is to start with my left leg since I'm facing you. So you'll cross the left leg along the midline, cross the knee. If that's not accessible, just keep that foot just inside the right knee. From here. And then take a minute to really sit straight up in your sits bones. We're not coming forward like that, so really sitting strong. And then using the torso of the body from the hips, pivoting towards that bent knee. In this case, it's my left knee. The left hand can find the floor behind you. If you'd like to take it deeper, you can bring the right elbow outside the left knee and rotate across that left shoulder. We're going to take a minute and really breathe here. We're going to take 3 to 5 deep breaths at your own pace. Spinal twists are an excellent way to wring out tension from the body. It's also really good for your digestive system. Just a few more big, full, deep breaths here. On your last one, really inhale, exhale to your fullest twist, taking care of your back, your body, yourself. And with the exhalation, you can unwrap. Replace the left leg to the prone position, and then we'll do right side. I'm going to turn this way so I don't have my back to you. So again, in this case, you can either leave the right leg just inside the left knee. If you'd like to take it deeper, you can cross over. Take a minute to find your sits bones and really sit tall in this position. And again, the right hand floats back to find the mat behind you. The gaze is over the right shoulder. And if you'd like to take it deeper, bring that left elbow into the right knee and push, twist. So again, just a few more big, deep breaths here, bringing out the tension, bringing out anything that's not serving you. Big, deep breaths. On the last one, really inhale fully, exhale into your deepest twist of the day. Yummy. We will slowly unwind. Coming forward. Just to reset our hips and sits bones, let's take a minute. Inhale up, exhale forward fold, just gently. Just let your arms float. Whatever feels good, let your head hang. Just take a minute to reset after the twist. Experience what you're feeling in your body. Experience what emotions might be coming up for you. Whatever that is, just be with it. Have peace with it. And we'll slowly come up. Okay. So from here, okay, I'm going to come to a seated position here. We're going to take what's called Baddha Konasana, which is really just the bottoms of your feet come together. It's also known as butterfly pose. And then the hands wrap wherever they are. If this is where you are, that's great. Take good care of the knees, okay? This one can be intense on the knees, the VMO, these muscles right here. This can be a little intense on knees, so just be careful with that and just take a minute. Okay. So you can either use the fingers to grip the toes, or you can wrap the hands around the feet. Just find what feels good for you. And then draw the spinal cord up and out. Lift the chin, not to crunch the back of the neck, but just really lift those shoulders and chin. Really feel that opening through the shoulders here. The legs push down as the hands and shoulders pull up, creating a nice moment of healthy tension, good tension. The inner thighs open. Another very grounding, ancestral, primitive stuff here. Really good for grounding quieting the mind, grounding your soul. Opening up that back body, opening up those thighs. Okay, from here, we'll take the left leg out. The right leg can stay where it is. Pardon me. Excuse me. The right leg can stay where it is, or if you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, you can bring it in. You can bring that foot into the inner thigh, inner left thigh. Again, extending through that, flexing the foot, extending through the back line of the body. Or inhale the arms up. And as you're ready, exhale a slight rotation to face those toes and just come as far as you can. If this is where you are today, be there and be glad about it. This is a good thing. The tension in this pose, or the opposition that we're trying to create, is done by pulling the hands on the mat. So you're really kind of leaning into it, almost drawing that mat up towards you. And leaning into it. And as you exhale, you'll be able to come a little bit further and a little bit further. If you want to take the full pose, both hands wrap around the foot. The nose comes to the knee. Again, a few big, deep, full breaths here. Opening up the side bodies, feeling the obliques open. Feeling a slight rotation, that twist. I get this in my lower back in a good way too. It's a nice little twist for me. Okay, and then slowly walk your hands back up. Again, inhaling up, and exhaling, bring the hands to the heart. So we'll take second side. In this case, that will be your right leg out, left leg in. So again, wherever you want to be, if this is where your legs are today, this is where your hips want to be, stay there and be comfortable in it. If you want to take it deeper, you can, bringing that heel into the midline, into the inner thigh of the right leg. And again, inhaling up, and then exhaling with a pivot, reaching far forward as you choose to today. Noticing that it may be different on each side. Most of us carry tension in one side of our bodies more than other. That's a very normal thing. And it may just mean it may change how you're able to access side by side. So again, if this is where you are, great. Using the tension, the concept of pulling in the mat to really deepen the pose. And if you want to go further, the full pose is hands around the foot, nose to knee, exhale fully. Do a quick time check. Okay. Exhaling fully. Big deep breath. Last one into the pose. And let's exhale, unwind, arms come up. Again, mindfully bringing the hands back to the heart. Gathering all that you have created in your body, all the energy that you're shepherding, bringing that into your heart center. Okay. So I want to take a pause here. We're about halfway through the practice, and I just want to take a pause here and see, if there are any questions that I've missed. Do we have any questions, friends? Okay, good. And I also just want to take a minute to reground. We've been twisting and stuff. That can really create a lot of energy and create a lot of, can bring stuff up. So I'm going to take a moment to namaste as we started. So hands are in a prayer position, comfortable seated position. We're going to take 3 big deep breaths. So again, closing the eyes, calming your nervous system, inhaling fully through the nose, exhaling, open the jaw, open the mouth, let the eyes be soft. And second one, since I can't see all of you, I would love to hear you. If you can, inhale fully, exhale. Good, 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 good. Okay, from here, friends, we're going to come to a standing position. So we started, beginning of class, we did a little bit of downward dog and a soft flow. We're going to do what's called sun salutations. If you're familiar with this, this is a standard sun salute. If you're not, it's a series of 5 to 7 poses that start at the front of your mat. So let's walk to the front of our mat. Feet are hips width apart. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Okay, as we'll inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, swan dive forward, opening the chest, opening the heart, finding the floor or your shins with your hands. You can step or hop back, whatever's best for you. Come into your downward facing dog. Big deep breath here. From here, shoulders come over the hands into a plank. You can drop your knees here, or if you'd like to take the full pose, let's get back so you can see. If you'd like to take the full pose, it's a push-up, chaturanga. It's the yoga push-up. And then we inhale, up dog, upward facing dog. If you want to come all the way up, you can. That's the advanced version. Gaze is up at the ceiling. Exhaling down, curl the toes under, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, walk forward. Take a minute to just hang, let the body be loose. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling the hands to heart. Breath here. We're going to do this 6 more times, so 7 times total. Inhaling up. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Find the floor with the hands. Step or hop back. Downward facing dog. Find your version of the push-up. Knees can come down. Upward facing dog. Big breath here. Minding the lower back. Exhaling down. Pushing back. Into downward dog. Deep, full breath. This time step forward with the other leg, whichever one you didn't step forward with. Walk or hop, your choice. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale up. Exhale down, swan dive. Plant the hands, step or hop back. Downward facing dog. Come into the yoga push-up of your choice. Upward facing dog. Down, toes come under. And then walk or step forward. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Swan dive forward. Big exhales, finding the downward dog for you. The yoga push-up of your choice. Up dog. Down dog. Stepping forward. Inhaling the arms up. Hands to heart. Up. Forward fold. Swan dive with the exhale. Stepping back. Yoga push-up of your choice. Upward dog. Rolling through to downward dog. Stepping forward. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. 2 more. If this is becoming too intense for you, I would like to suggest that you come back to a child's pose and just calm your mind, calm your breath, and we'll finish these last 2. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Step or hop back. Yoga push-up of your choice. Inhale up. Exhale, downward dog. Stepping forward. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale. Last one, folks. Inhale up. Exhale down. Step or hop back, downward facing dog. Coming to your position for push-up. Upward dog. Rolling through to down dog. And stepping forward. Big, huge inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a deep breath here, ground through the feet. Feel the strength in your body, feel the heat that we've created. Listen to my dog bark. Whatever I think he hears our downward dogs. Just take a minute to really find your grounding in standing pose here. Quiet the mind, quiet the eyes. Soften the belly, soften the gaze. We'll come to the middle of our mat. We're gonna work on balancing poses for a moment. So since we just created a lot of flow and heat in the body, we're all probably a little like, the breath is up, your breath pace is up, that kind of thing. We're gonna take a minute to ground before we go into, balance poses. So from here, really just simply gonna take half moon. This is, in my case, I have my feet together. If this is more accessible to you and you feel stronger here, feel free. So take the standing position that works for your body. We're gonna inhale up. Hands come above the head. Lift up out of this rib cage. Lift up and slightly over as you can. Try not to crunch down or come forward. Try to simply take half moon as far as you can. From here, the right hand drops behind the back. The left hand goes on the elbow or on the arm, whichever you'd like. And just really open up this armpit through here. Use this leverage of the left hand to open up. You want to turn your head, that'll open up the left side of your neck as well. And again, finding half moon. Delicious. Inhale up, back to center. Let's take a minute, relax our arms. Shake out. Okay. Inhaling up. Exhaling long and strong, up and over to the left. Nice and long, taking care not to crunch forward. And again here, in this case, the left hand drops, the right hand comes to the elbow or to your bicep tricep area, whatever's easiest for you. Really working to open that. Noting the difference in the sides of your body. I know this side of my body is much more open than the other side, so I find it easier on this side. Notice what comes up for you. And again, half moon pose. Delicious. And inhaling up. Good. Exhale the arms down. Take a minute, shake it off. Get a drink of water, whatever it is you need. Do a time check. Okay. So from here, we're going to work on tree pose. The majority of tree pose happens in the bottom half of the body. If balance doesn't feel good for you today, or if that's not where you are, no problem. Just a hand against a wall. You can actually lean against the wall, whatever works for you. So tree pose comes in a number of forms. We're going to start with the right leg. Grounding through the left leg. You can bring the heel to meet, keeping both legs on the floor, hands at the heart. This is tree one. This is the entry pose for this. If you can come further and you'd like to take it different or take it a little further, you can bring this arch onto the left knee. We want to make sure that we're not pushing into that left knee. So this side of my body is really strong and really grounded through the left. If you want to take it even further, you can bring the heel up. Be careful with your knees on this one. So wherever you are in your tree, whichever tree you're doing today, find 3 big full breaths in it. Big inhales, big exhales. Last inhale, full exhale. Unwind your tree, take a minute to shake it out. So again, knowing that side of your body might be different, you might find balance on this side easier or harder. So you may have a different version of tree on this side. Again, using the wall if you'd like. I happen to know that this is not my strong balance side, so I'm going to take a different angle today. I'm just going to go to the halfway point. And take 3 big full breaths. If you're feeling really stable, you're welcome to take your arms above you. You can also clasp the hands behind your back. Just find what works for you in your body today. Grounded through that standing leg, long and strong. On your last inhale, lift the arms up and release your tree. Good. That felt really good. All right, and then from here, we're going to do triangle, Trikonasana. So from here, you'll take this right foot goes out, and I have mine at 45 degrees. You can put yours in whatever position works for you. The left leg comes back. It's parallel with the edge of your mat. So it's kind of like this. I don't know if you can see my feet. Okay. So this is your starting pose. Both legs stay straight and strong. The arms come out. And pivoting at the hip, we drop down into triangle pose. So here's triangle starting position. If you'd like to take it deeper, you can take the arm over the head. You can also wrap that left arm behind you and gaze up at the ceiling in this slight twist. Take a few big, deep breaths here. Feeling that strong, stable balance of your legs. You're grounding to the earth. Big inhale, big exhale. And as you're ready, unwind. We're simply going to swap the foot position. So in this case, your right foot will come forward. Your left leg will go out. Both legs remain straight. Again, finding what works for you in the foot position. Find that balance, arms out to a T. And again, pivoting here at the left hip. Going over into triangle. Do what works for you. You can also take the arm overhead. And again, there's a rotation. And the advanced pose if you'd like. A few big, deep breaths here. Noticing what comes up for you, what feels stable. If you're shaking, your muscles are shaking, that's very normal, especially at this point in the class. And again, unwinding that Trikonasana, that triangle pose. In this case, both feet come forward, parallel. We're going to do the forward fold that we started this series with, so the hands can come behind you. If you're not comfortable with that, hands simply slide down the legs to the floor. If you can, take the hands behind you, interlace them, and just pivoting at the waist, coming forward into a forward fold. The arms come up. Take a breath here. Big, full breaths. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can always bring the hands to the ground, to the foot, to the feet, whatever's going to feel stable and nurturing for your body. Excellent. And then from here, simply walk the feet in just a little bit, finding the squat pose that works for you. We started with. Notice if there's any difference in the way you're experiencing this pose now versus when we did it at the beginning of class. Perhaps your body feels more open, perhaps it's more stable, perhaps not. Just notice the difference if there is one for you. Again, a really primitive grounding pose. Feel the sits bones, these bones here dropping to the earth. Feeling this plant in your feet, feeling them really strong, stable. Excellent. And as you're ready, find the ground with your hands. Come to a comfortable seated position. So let's turn sideways on our mats. Either direction works for you, whatever is easiest for you. I'm going to do a couple of, I like to think of it as meditation in motion, just a little bit of rocking and rolling. Okay, so in this case, your knees come towards your chest. You can have the hands on the knees or on the shins. I actually like to wrap mine because I feel like that's really comforting. This is one that's really intended to kind of bring our energy in towards ourselves, really nurture ourselves. We really are just going to find our inner child, find the playfulness in this pose. And as you're able and comfortable taking care of your neck, roll back to the tips of your scapula and roll forward. And do what works for you. We're going to do this about 7 times. If this isn't accessible to you, simply hold your knees to your chest and really give yourself a hug. Just really feel what that feels like. Being careful not to throw the neck or the legs, really keeping that tight little ball as you roll. Spinal massage. It's a really good one to get the tension out of your spine. This will be my final one. And again, taking a minute to just wrap yourself up. Take a few quiet, deep breaths here. I'm going to pause my voice for a minute to give you a minute to just reset. And I'll let you know when our next pose is ready. Excellent. All right, folks. Let's take our legs straight out in front of us. You might need to scoot back on your mat a little bit. Okay, and from here, you want to position yourself on your mat so that you are able to keep your head on your mat, soft, or the rug or whatever it is that you're using. Just a little something to keep your head from being uncomfortable. So from here, we're simply going to roll back. So you guys can see me. There we go. Okay. And in this case, we'll take the right knee up. Let's bring the knee towards us using the interlaced palms to apply pressure to the knee to really open up these hamstrings to here. If this isn't accessible to you, this is a good option. So is this. So just really feel what that feels like for you in this hip, this right hip, and then in those hamstrings. And if you want to go further, you can straighten the leg. You can also climb the leg and just breathe. This is where I'd like to be today. Take a big, deep breath. Exhale, feel the hamstrings open. If you decided to keep your leg down here, really focus on the upper thigh and the hips, so breathing into those areas. That will also counter stretch and loosen your hamstrings. And then we'll all bend the knee. Again, taking care to plant through that long, straight left leg. The left hand comes on the right knee, and we draw that leg across the body into a gentle spinal stretch. I'm going to show you what this looks like standing. It's a little bit easier to see. It's like this. It's going to look like this on the floor. Okay? So we're going to sit here just sit in this for a minute and take a big deep breath. Really open up that right arm is stretched out. Reach through the fingertips. Taking a minute to open the lower back, open the right armpit. You can take the gaze out over the right fingertips if you like. Just find the stretch that works for you and try to find release in this pose. Try to really just lay into the ground, be heavy into the ground as you're able. And as you're ready, we'll exhale back, taking a minute to snug that knee into the chest. With an exhale, release that right leg. Take a minute to notice what's going on in your legs. Typically after you've done one side, that side that we've done feels a little longer, perhaps a little looser than the side we've not yet. So take a moment to recognize that for you, and then find your second side, whatever that is. If you're here, your breath work is here and in your hip. If you're here, again, you can come up. Whatever you need to do today, work to open those hamstrings, the front side of the quads, the front side of your thighs. Flex the foot, point the toe, experiment with that ankle. Big deep breath, grounding through that right leg. And then again, we'll all take a bent knee. In this case, the right hand on the left knee. We draw the left knee across the body. The right arm comes out. Off the shoulder, gaze is out at the left. Fingertips, reaching through those fingertips. Pardon me. Okay, take a moment, really feel that, feel the weight of your leg, that bent knee particularly, into the ground. Forgive me. And then as you're able, draw that leg back across. Take a minute to reset. Draw that knee in. Draw the left knee in, pull the pressure in. And then release. Okay. So from here, we're going to take what's called Shavasana, which is corpse pose. And it simply looks like this on the ground. You're just gonna lay down, find a comfortable position on your back. If you find any glitch or discomfort in your lower back, you can bend your knees. Rotate the shoulder blades down and up, the hands, the palms come up. Okay, we're gonna take corpse pose. And this is the point in the practice where we take everything that we've done, all the movement, all the breath work, all the awareness, the energy, and really bring it into a place of peace in our bodies and use this moment to integrate. Pardon me. I'm also going to take us through a nice body scan. This is one of my favorite tools in working with students, really creating body awareness. So what we're going to do is really, it's simply just envision breathing into each of the body parts as I name them. We'll take a big, full, deep breath into each one of those. It will take a few minutes, and at the end, I hope that you're quite relaxed. At the end of the body scan, there'll be a few moments of quiet, and then I will call you back into class when it's time to end, okay? So beginning with, again, taking a minute to really get the wiggles out, feel whatever comfort adjustments you need to make for your body today, and find that really comfortable position where you can be calm and still. So we'll begin by breathing into the very tips of the toes. Wiggle those toes, be aware of them. Envision breathing into them. Exhaling, moving the awareness up into the arch of the foot, the top. Big full breaths, releasing any tension. Our feet are how we truck through the world. They're very important to us, and we can be hard on them. They take a lot of wear and tear. So take a minute to really release the bones, the muscles, the energy in your feet. Moving up into the ankles, feeling that connection into the shins. Taking a minute to really breathe fully into the shins, into the back side of the body, the calf muscles. Inhaling, releasing every ounce of tension onto the mat. Taking the awareness up into the knees. Not just the strong outer, the kneecaps, but also that soft underbelly. It's a really fragile part of our body. It does take a lot of tension as well. It doesn't have the girding, the armor of the kneecap. The soft underbelly, really release the back of the knees down into the mat. Moving the awareness into the lower thighs, just above the knees. Taking a moment to feel those connections, those strong muscles. Those muscles of the thighs are some of the biggest ones in your body. They carry a lot, they do a lot, they absorb a lot. Take a moment to really release them, almost as if the flesh is just falling off the bone, just really soft and released. As you're ready, let's come a little further up into the thigh, just below the hip bones, the belly of it's called the belly of the muscle, the biggest part of that muscle. Not quite into the hip bones just yet, but just below them. Opening, releasing. On the back side, the body is called the gluteal fold. That's where the gluteus meets the top of the thigh on the back side. Releasing there. Feeling that energy just drift down into the mat. Anything that's not serving you, leave it here. Moving upward into the hips, particularly the front of the hips, the hip bones. In the yoga body, we learned that we carry a lot of emotions in our hips. And those can be good, they can be negative, they can be all of the things. They can be ambiguous, but we carry a lot of stuff in our hips. And the hips are the joint between the top half of our body and the bottom half of our body. So again, a really key pivot point here. Feeling the front side of those hip bones, feeling them melt, just open up, noticing what's coming up for you. If there's anything, just be with that. Accept it, release it. We're going into the back side of the body, gluteus maximus, the booty muscles. Again, this is a point of high traffic, high impact. Whether we're seated, ambulatory, whatever we're doing, there's a whole lot that goes on in these muscles, in this muscle group. So feel them release. Take this moment to really deliciously feel that release. Soften, simplify, let go. Moving up into the sacrum. This is the area just above your pelvic muscle on the back side, just above your hips, your pelvis on the front side. In the yoga body, we learn about energy centers called chakras, and that's just a Sanskrit word for a place where we hold energy. And this one, it's about sort of our primitive needs, our needs to, food, shelter, clothing, the basics. It's also known as our right to exist. This is where the root of our identity lies in the yoga body. Take a moment to really fully fill that pelvis with breath and exhale, cleansing, just releasing all the tension you can let go of. Moving up into the stomach, another power center. This is another center of our identity. This is an area where we determine how we hold our power, how that power is used, how we use it, how we give it, how we share it, how we keep it. So this big, full belly breath. In yoga, we learn that the big, full belly of the Buddha, the big, full belly of all the yogis, this is them filling their cavity and their power center with what they need to exist in the way they want to move. Same can be true for you. Same can be true for me. Fill that belly with what you want, with what you know to be true for you. Exhaling, releasing all the tension that you can leave on the mat. We're going to do another big, really full breath here. Blowing out the sides of the body, making it big as you can possibly be, taking up all the space. And exhaling, fully releasing, wringing out the body. We'll move up into the breastbone, the chest area, the solar plexus, diaphragm, however you identify that. This is the area just below the breastbone, but above the belly, right above the heart center. I don't think I have to tell you what goes on in the heart. I think we all know. It's a big, powerful organ, a big, powerful energy center. It's your heart. Fill it. Breathe into it. Lean into that heart, feeling full, feeling that whatever you need to draw to you today, whatever you need, if that's love, if it's peace, if it's tolerance, if it's just existing, just the without smiling, it makes my heart complete. That third and final big full breath into the heart, or breath into the heart center. We'll take our awareness up into the clouds, back, peeling away any stress, anything you can make. Taking the awareness down into the biceps and try breath there. Breathe into that. As you exhale, feel the arms be heavy into the mat. Hands are an extension of the heart. They're the physical way that the heart ambulates through the world. So with those palms up, breathe in, breathe that's not serving you. Exhale fully. Exhale that out. Let it go. Next.